Yeah, it feels really good. It feels good to, especially for me personally, it feels good just to be back with the group, getting to run around a little bit. It feels good.
100% physically?
Yeah, 100% physically. Long time coming.
Did it feel like a long time, DJ? Or?
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter if it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It feels like a long time. When you're used to doing something in a pattern with your guys and you got to watch them do it, it no matter how long it is, it feels long. Even if it's 1 game, 2 games, it feels like forever.
When Coach said earlier, you kind of set the example on the O-line. I guess, is that a point of pride for you to be that guy?
Definitely. I think especially just, how far it done come. Being able to actually be that reference, I take it very seriously, trying to make sure that I'm always on my P's and Q's for them young guys because I know they're watching in some shape, form, or fashion. Even the guys that are, middle of the pack age-wise, I know they're still watching, so I'm just making sure I set that tempo in every phase, just doing everything right. Being that example is big for me because it makes me hold myself to that standard always because I know that there's a level of expectation from me.
Along those lines, considering what you went through as a rookie, how important is it for you to give back and teach rookies every year how to avoid the pratfalls, how to avoid this, that, or the other thing, and stay on the road to get to where you are now?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Like that's the biggest part about it is knowing what that felt like and knowing what that realization feel like when you figure out that you're not doing it right and your does think that's that's a big deal. So just make sure I'm able to be there for those guys and kind of guide them through that. Whether they're reacting like I would have reacted in 2015 or they're way ahead of the curve where I would have been, always just kind of being there, being that voice of reason for them to kind of.
You share your rookie stories with some of them?
Yeah, everybody. I never. That's one thing I never act like didn't happen. I make sure that's the first thing you know about me because most people meet me now and they think like, man, you've always had this figured out. I say, nah, bro, this is a long time coming. I'm still figuring it out every day. I'm still taking that mentality to every day, trying to make sure that that version of myself is always buried down there. You know what I mean? So it's making sure I can keep showing the young guys, even guys like I said, that could be a little bit older, but they're going through a rough patch or something like that. Being able to be that voice of reason that's big for me.
What were you 100% healthy? Were you 100% healthy this summer, like OTA's minicamp, or that happened since like during the break?
Pretty much like right. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you to be honest. I would say this is the first time I've taken live reps and I don't feel any pain. You know what I mean? So I'm healthy. You know what I mean? So like the other stuff running around on the side, you can feel healthy all you want to, but if you ain't sitting on the bull rush, you're not healthy. You don't know if you're healthy until you feel that first bull rush for real. So, yeah, that definitely. I know now for sure.
Any differences between this year's camp and what you've gone through in the past?
I think just me personally kind of knowing what to expect from training camp. You know what I mean? Just that kind of, as you get older, you kind of know what the variants are in a training camp and knowing what they expect and knowing where to be and how things are going to go, how much time you actually have the time to do stuff like that. So I think that's the main thing, honestly, as the camps go on. That's probably the biggest thing.
DJ, what should the expectations be for this team?
I don't know. I'll tell you, we've been in practice for 2 days, so I can't give you any expectations for the team. Just being honest with you, I'm not gonna sit here and say smoke. That's just not my style. You know what I mean? But I know that I feel super healthy running around out there, and it feels good to like be running around full speed and not worrying about nothing, not worrying about stepping the wrong way, and moving any. Worried about how I'm gonna feel after this step and waiting to see does that hurt. So I know that's what I expect from myself for sure.
Were you worried when your back was hurt? Were you worried that, oh crap, this could be super serious?
It was serious. I knew that, you know what I mean? I knew that it was serious.
Career ending though, maybe?
No. After I hurt my knee, I'm not afraid of anything that goes on in this league. You know what I mean? I tore my knee up. I literally watched my leg point one other way and pop it back in place myself and have the surgery and come back from that. So ever since then, there's nothing that this game can do to me to take me off this field. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You get hurt, you get healthy, you can start playing football again. So that really never once did it was that. It was more so just how long are we going to have to rehab this thing? What's the process? You know what I mean? Let's get on it because I ain't trying to waste no time. I'm trying to be ready for whenever I can be.
You mentioned 2015. Do you find it hard to believe this is your 9th camp?
Boy, it has been a long time coming. I can't believe. Honestly, if you'd have told me in 2015 that I was going to see 9 camps, I'd have laughed at you probably. I probably would have laughed at you. So no, it's definitely wild to even be here. One of my young guys the other day, I posted a picture and I said it was year 9 for me. He was like, bro, you been in the league 9 years? I thought this was like year 5 for you or something. I was like, yeah, man. I'm glad that I'm selling it young like that. We keep on selling it young. Like, you just keep thinking it's year 5, man. I'll keep doing my thing. Hopefully we look up, it'll be year 15. They be thinking I'm in year 9 or something like that, maybe.
What can you guys do to change outside perceptions of this team?
We don't give a about outside perception of the team. Honestly, I know I don't, especially. Huh?
Start from within. You
Yeah.
guys change it who you are.
Yeah, I don't even. That's never been my personality. DJ Humphries is my dad, so I never really gave a about anything that anybody else had to say about outside. So that's never, you know, what I mean, that's never been a part of my DNA at all.
Say though there has been a culture shift here.
Oh, definitely. It's been a culture shock. It ain't even been no gradual shift. It's shock. Either get with it or get gone. Huh? JG. Yeah, that's it. You met him. That's you. You know it's either you're gonna be like that or you're gonna go home. It's that simple. That's really the mentality. Yeah, that's the mentality of it. So it makes it easy. And especially when you got older guys like me, all the Buddha, all those guys that's buying into the system, it's you know what I mean, you got when you have your leaders that are falling into that mode, there's nobody that's behind you that's gonna buck the system when they see guys like me, guys like K1, Buddha, that are falling into place and doing everything right. They're gonna do the same thing.
Have you ever seen JG not go full speed? Like even in practice, he moves.
No. I've never even seen JG not talk full speed. Like it's all one. That's who he is. It's not like a persona. It's not like one of those like I'm gonna sell this to the media. That's who he is for real. And it's refreshing for me, and it's good to be around because you know that what that bleeds over. That's something that's infectious to everybody that's around. You know what I mean?
You guys looked like you thought he was over here, and all of a sudden he's in the
No, you know he's coming. You know he's coming.
Are there any concepts that are kind of foreign? I know it's only day 2. It's probably hard to pin
Nah.
offensive identity, but I mean, is it going to be? You know, we're as a media still trying to figure some of that out too. Just going to be watching, you know, as you guys get ready.
Yeah, concepts are usually in my mind are usually like outside stuff, like receivers and stuff like that. It's only so many ways you can block power and zone and stuff like that. It's just different names for it. You know what I mean? Finding what we call it here versus what it's been called. But all that is you know, I just block the end. I try to keep it as simple as possible. When I gotta block somebody else, those are the ones that you know, that's when the mentality shifts. But no, I try to keep it as simple as possible because that's really what it is. It's football, and when it gets to a certain sense, it's still football. It's still zone. It's still power. It's still counter. It's just we call it this versus what you've called it for the last 9 years. You know, so it's definitely.
Safe to say you'd like to hang your head. I mean, again, the last few years it's been a lot more about the passing game, and everyone says, and you know, everyone talks a good game about wanting to run the ball. But as an O-lineman, what's the benefit of being a team that can do that, can run the ball?
Keep teams honest. If teams know you can run the ball, they can't just drop 8 and sit on all the routes, you know what I mean? If they have to really respect the run, especially when you got a back like James Conner and the guys that we got behind him. When you actually use that horse, you got to really – you can't just leave James with a 6 box. It's just not real life. You think you're going to do that, he's going to have 200 yards. You know what I mean? So it's like teams have to play us honest. And when you have a true run game, you can be that way. Your whole offense opens up then because certain things look like run, and then you're dropping it over their head, or now we're in the drop back, and they're exhausted because you just ran the ball at them 8 times and they can't pass rush. So it's one of those things that keeps defenses honest.
You mentioned Buddha. How good is it to have him out there?
Oh, my goodness.
Everything.
Buddha's one of those guys that like give me juice. Like he's one of the, like just seeing him be himself makes me like elevate. You know, because you can't watch a guy like that on the field and then not go out and try to play to that level or one up him. That's the mentality that when you're a competitor, you see somebody like that going out on your team that's playing so hard and playing so detailed and so keyed in. It's like I have to do this. This is the example on. I get to watch him do this. I can't turn around and then go out there and lollygag. It's one of those things. He sets a fire under me. Definitely just seeing him in the morning, I know what type of day it's going to be.
Like you mentioned, this is your 9th camp. This is also your 3rd head coach. Can you just tell us the differences from BA to Cliff to JG?
They're all different. You know, they're all different personalities. I don't really do the whole, you know how I feel about the first head coach. Cliff's my guy still, you know what I mean? But like I said, they're all different.
DJ, what's the key to adapting your style of play, depending on who's playing quarterback back there?
You don't. When you play tackle, I can't adapt to, I got to block this dude that everyone thinks is all world. So I can't really worry about what's going on back there at all, actually. I just got to keep him from getting back there, really. That's really my mentality, how I go about it, honestly.
I know it's early, but any early glimpses about what Zayman can do?
Honestly, no. I got maybe like 2 reps against him, and like he's been dropping and stuff like that. So I haven't really gotten a chance to get him. But I know Zaven is so physically gifted. Him playing that spot is like he's gonna do fine. He's so twitchy and so athletic, and on top of it, he's country strong dude. Like it really translates. The kid feels like he's been throwing bales of hay his whole life. Like that's really what he looks like. You know what I mean? So it's like that's an easy translation for him because you see him back there at the mic. He's like, yo, this dude's like a 2008 old school linebacker, 6'5", 250 linebacker. Now you put him on the edge, and it's like this is today's age pass rusher. So it works. I think it's gonna work really well for him. I think he's gonna thrive.
Did you ever challenge him to come after you a little bit, like instead of dropping? Or?
I don't have to. Honestly, I don't have to. Because Zaven ain't ducking no smoke at all. I know that for certain. If he's dropping the coverage, he's handling his responsibility. So he ain't running from me at all. I know that.
DJ, what kind of difficult coffee orders are you giving Paris as part of his rookie duties? Are you guys kind of razzing him a little bit as he goes through his first camp?
You know, it's more so been the orders for like the snacks that we want in the room. You know, I've been hitting him like old school, like nostalgia stuff to just see if he can find it and just kind of watch him scramble and look for it and get a good tickle because he's very cool and calm. So it's like sometimes you'll ask him to get something, he's like, what is that? And he'll figure it out eventually. He's like, oh, okay, I see you, man. Good job. I didn't really want it, but thanks for you going to get it. Thanks, yeah. I think I'm going to send him on the cheerwine scavenger hunt. They don't even make cheerwine on the West Coast, so I'm going to see if he can figure it out. I think that'll be the next one for sure. I had him getting a lot of sour straws for me lately, but it's like a specific flavor that I want, and it's like you got to look for it to find it. And he found a whole box of them, so I'm like, all right, this kid is all right. I see where you're going with this. So we got to elevate the cheer wine now. It's time to go.